So what I have here is an N-scale train layout, and this is a prototype board, so it looks a little messy. But I wanted to see if I can actually make a layout that could both go on the outside track as well as doing a figure eight. And the answer is yes, I can. And so you're kind of watching this here in action. This train is basically a DC motor. And so one side of the track is positive, one side of the track is negative. Now there has to be 3 electrical zones, because it's actually possible that the voltage of these tracks will change. So sometimes the outside track could be positive, sometimes the outside track could be negative. And that's where the relay system comes in. The relay system actually does 2 things. One, it sets up the voltage on the tracks. You have 3 distinct electrical locations. So you have the one on the left, one on the right, and actually one in the center. There's 3 zones for it. And the relay system controls that, as well as the solenoids that are actually pulling the switching on this. There are 2 sensors on each side. So the train goes through, it'll hit the first sensor, then it will hit the second sensor. And from that, you can figure out which direction the train is heading and whereabouts it is. And then from there, it randomly chooses whether it's going to go through the center or it's going to go through the outside. To run the relay system, there's an Arduino board, and to run that, there's software. And it's calculating as to what it should do. Actually, there's a lot of programming to this, and it still needs to be fine-tuned. In the demo, the solenoids and the sensors are actually mounted on top, and they're easy to see. In the final prototype, they won't be. They'll actually be buried underneath the board, so you won't see them. There are known issues with the prototype. What will eventually happen is the train will go off the tracks on one of the switches. The train is just something running too fast for the switching to work properly for the software. And so what has to happen is there have to be software changes in order to change the priority of the switching of the tracks, the voltage and everything. But these are just minor things. What you're looking at here is the final work in action. No, it's not finished yet, but the switching sensors are underneath and the optical sensors are actually underneath as well. Because of where the display is going to be sitting, the electronics of this have to be sitting on top. They cannot be underneath. So I need to actually make it look prettified. I haven't decided if I'll put a building over top of this or let the people actually see the magic behind the scenes. This whole thing has been a very slow process, a lot slower than I thought it would be. However, I am very happy the way this has actually turned out. And so I'll keep on with this. I just thought I'd give you a little update as to what I'm doing, and hopefully you were interested.